Good morning, San Francisco, and welcome to another episode of MB2 Underground. Joe, how's it going?
Good morning, Miss Kiefer. Joe Fox, Vice President Business Development here. Beautiful as always, Ms.
You're
Kiefer.
so sweet, thank you.
Yeah. So it's a fun day today. Super excited
Yeah,
to
I'm pumped.
introduce another true OG in the MB2 family.
That's Original Gangsters, in case you didn't know.
Original Gangsters, partner in 2014, February of 2014, Dr. Dustin McBride. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being here. So to kick us off, could you maybe walk us through how you chose dentistry and, more importantly, how you met Dr. Ann?
I was born with no talents whatsoever, which I view as a blessing, right? I can't sing, no athletic ability or anything like that. So I knew if I was going to be successful, I was going to have to study and go to school. So
Nerd.
yeah. So started, undergrad. I was kind of thinking about what I wanted to do, and people were suggesting healthcare. It's stable.
Mm-hmm.
So I started taking science courses, and I thought about pharmacy for a while. Worked in a pharmacy, and I'm like, too easy access to drugs. That's not a good idea. So
Better safe than sorry.
so I ruled that one out, and plus a lot of the pharmacists didn't seem like they were too happy. So I met some people that talked about being a dentist. So I looked into it and made some friends who were dentists, and it looked like it was something I was going to enjoy. So I chose that and haven't looked back. No regrets.
Awesome.
How old were you around that time where you decided?
20.
Okay.
20. I was on the 6-year undergrad program.
Yep.
So
Love
Hey,
that.
you, right? You're a Wildcat, right?
Arizona State.
Arizona State.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's a
Is
fun
that still
school
a
to go to.
Wildcat?
Sun Devil.
Sun Devil.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, I screwed
That's
that up
all
big
right,
time.
yeah.
That's top 5 party schools, though, from my recollection.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Still.
Aren't all schools party schools?
Well, ASU is pretty special.
People
From
said
what
that
I
about Texas
remember,
State.
which isn't much, yeah.
That should be their tagline.
Yeah.
From what I remember, which isn't much.
So, gotcha. 6 years undergrad. How did you meet Dr. Ann?
Dental school.
Yeah.
So we went to the same, obviously the same dental school, and we just
Locked eyes from across the classroom.
She pursued me. I wasn't
Oh,
interested
okay.
at first. Of course, that's not true. But we just met in dental school and kind of clicked, and it worked out. Rest is history.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's an interesting dynamic because there's family in the MB2 family, huh?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Tell us a little bit about that.
She has 2 sisters. They're both dentists, and then we're all they're married to dentists, so there's 6 of us, and so we're all part of MB2, which thankfully that happened because with the way MB2 has grown, the financial benefits, if one of the sisters would have maybe not partnered, that make family get-togethers pretty awkward.
Right.
There's some bitterness maybe. I'm thinking they'd probably be doing fine, but I don't think they'd be doing as fine. So
Right.
Yeah.
that all worked out.
Awkward Thanksgivings.
Mm-hmm.
So how did your business start before MB2? You guys had a practice in Phoenix, correct?
Yes, yeah. Well, when we graduated, I wanted to move to Arizona because that's where I'm from.
Yep.
And my wife wanted to move to Texas because she has a lot of family in Texas. So unfortunately, I won that argument, and we ended up in Arizona. And it was, bad timing. It was right before the recession,
Like
And
2007, 2008?
Yeah, you mix that in with enough stupidity, and
Yep.
it just didn't. We bought an office. I was very stubborn. I wanted to have an office in a certain area. Didn't do my research, didn't know what I was doing.
Yep.
Like a lot of dentists are like that,
Yeah.
We just kind of say, hey, I'm a dentist, and, let's open an office. And so that's what I did. And, it didn't go well, but in retrospect, it was sort of like a 3-year business school. I did learn a lot,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then, I worked for some other corporations as well while I was there. So eventually we said, okay, enough of this. Let's go to Texas. So, my wife finally got her wish. And I'll tell you, if you win an argument, like where to live, and it doesn't go well, they let you know.
You're never gonna live that down.
So, but eventually we got to Texas, and I'd heard about MB2 through. Actually, it was Dental Partners of Texas at the time. And I'd heard about that through my sister-in-law who was going to Nova. So Dr. B went to Nova. There's the Nova connection. So came out, interviewed with him, and then he had an opportunity in East Texas. So we went out there and worked for a couple of years. And I got to know some of the partners, and I saw that they were a lot less stressed out than I had ever been and seemed like they were doing a lot better financially. So it's like, all right, well, stop questioning it. Whatever they're doing is working. So let's see if we can, partner up with these guys. So I got to know Dr. V and said, hey, could I partner? And he's like, absolutely not you. And then he's like, wait, you're married to Dr. Ann, right?
I guess we have to let you
we
in.
want her. It's a
Okay.
package deal. So
I love
yeah.
it.
So we, that's how that happened. And then the partnership was actually in West Texas. So we moved out there in 2014. And,
Wow.
yeah.
How'd you like West Texas?
So we have kids. I'm very grateful that we moved out there. It was great economic opportunity, and
Makes sense.
you combine that with MB2, and it's the oil field. It's a good, strong economy, so
Yeah, absolutely.
we went really well. And then we have kids. It's a good family town, so we stayed busy, and I liked it. It was good. We moved to Dallas this summer because the sisters all wanted to be together, so they all moved to Dallas, and so.
Is that what we're calling them? The gang? The
Yeah.
sisters?
Yeah, I'm not denying my wife another move, what she wants. We're
You're
doing
right.
it. So,
You lost
yeah.
that privilege. a long
Exactly.
time ago, right? So tell us about the transition in your business, right? You were an owner, you transitioned to an associate, then became an owner again.
Mm-hmm.
And what's happened in your business? And what are you all doing, kind of on a daily basis now?
So when we took over the Bliss offices, they were already up and going. That was in the West Texas offices.
And were they
So
MB2 practices?
They were MB2 practices.
Okay, got it.
And the partner at the time wanted to leave Midland and go to pediatric school. So we, bought her shares out and took over. And a lot of the stuff that I'd learned the hard way in Arizona, we were able to apply and help, grow those offices. So, and then, the fact that there's two of us is helpful because we took over 3 offices. And, but yeah, we just kind of got everything stabilized, got associates to come in, I was able to build some good relationship with the associates. A lot of them are now partners.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that went well, and just kind of coasted along, and then started off with 3 offices, expanded into 5, and then it expanded into 3 more. So I had 8 at one point. And
It is cool. You left a legacy behind in West Texas with, the associates that you kind of mentored and, stepped into ownership. Tell us a little bit about that, because I think that story is really cool.
yeah, so we had associates that came out and worked for us, and I think just like how I recognized with when I was working as an associate that something's going right here. They saw that, and you started asking about an opportunity for themselves. Dr. Colleen and Galloway and Mendoza, and so they they looked for. We started looking for opportunities for them and found it, and then they partnered in as well. And then when I was ready to move this summer, I was able to transition my office shares that I had to Dr. Colleen. So so that allowed me to move. And so I kind of gone through the whole circle.
Absolutely. The whole ecosystem,
MB2,
the life
yeah.
cycle. That's fantastic. Dr. Moan is a fan favorite here at MB2 headquarters. So how was that transition with her and selling your practice, right? Was that easier?
Yeah, it was easy.
Because Dr. Moan became an owner for the first time in a buyout opportunity, correct?
That's correct,
And
yeah.
then had the opportunity to buy, more into the Blisses.
Yep, there was a doctor who was wanting to sell his office in West Texas, and at first he was hesitant to talk with us because he's like, oh, corporate, it's
The
gonna
overlords.
ruin it, yeah. But he got to know me, and he got to know Dr. Colleen, and it wasn't me, it was Dr. Colleen.
Yeah.
Right.
So he got to know Dr. Colleen, and they decided that was a good opportunity, so we became comfortable, and they made that transition, and it's worked out very well. I know that she's really grown that office, and she's very happy. So.
Yeah, the way she went in there and started building relationships and trust with them. I mean, it's a very unique transition type where you have a doctor that's selling like an external practice and the guy wants to sell completely.
Mm-hmm.
And then you also caveat that with an associate becoming an owner for the first time. There were a lot of learning curves that she handled really well, but I think, also having mentorship and support from, MB2 and you guys probably made her feel a little bit more comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
But we can ask her about that when we interview her.
Absolutely.
And then so she she was established out there. Her husband works in the oil field and does very well, so they're not moving. So we talked about her taking over my shares, and we were able to make that transition.
Awesome. So how's the transition been for you all in the family to Dallas and then the practices in Abilene?
Good, yeah. So Abilene's between Midland and here, so it's 2.5 hour drive either way. So we made that transition. It's gone fine. I go out there once a week. My wife goes once a week, and when we have to, and just give it the support. And I've got a great team. That's a big thing about MB2. I would never have been able. I mean, I told you, I had one office that didn't go well. I would never have been able to do this without the MB2 support. But they, it's not a one size fits all.
Mm-hmm.
They adapt to your personality, and they give you the support that you need individually. And they don't come in. It's not a they don't come in and tell you what to do. Complete autonomy. So
yeah, absolutely. What component of the support was the most beneficial? Was it associate recruiting? Was it staff
Marketing.
recruiting? Marketing?
Yeah. I had a really good marketing support when I was there. No, but it's
Dr.
really
McBride was my
it's her
first.
name, Miss
When I
Keeper.
was
Yeah.
a marketing coordinator, I first started. The first practices I got were the Blisses. They were like,
Wow.
McBride's easy. We'll let you start there.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's I have I had great management support, Melissa Marrero and excuse me, Vanessa Collinsworth,
Yeah.
and I have Tawny now in Abilene, and they do a great job. So they keep they keep an eye on everything for me, so
Yep.
I don't have to stress out as much. And then you have MB2 constantly watching everything. And we have those monthly reports, monthly meetings, and they if anything seems like it's going off, we talk about it, and they have my back, and they have my best interest and so forth. So
That's awesome. Did you enjoy the role of mentoring associates?
I mean, I don't. Yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't know, because it just sort of happens, organically. I mean, the way I look at it is, if I'm going to be successful, then I have to make sure my associates
Yeah.
are successful, and then if the company's going to continue to grow, then I need to have when they become partners, they have to carry on the legacy, like you said.
Right.
So yeah.
Well, and you said February of 2014, right? That's holy cow. That's 10 years ago. How has
Over
it
10
been,
years, yeah.
watching the evolution of MB2 as an organization over the last decade?
Well, yeah. So the company started in 2007, and in 2014, I believe there was like 35 offices or something
Wow.
when I
2014 is when we started doing acquisitions too, I believe.
Yeah. So, and then, in 2014, so in the last 10 years, the growth is exponential, right? So I think if you go back to the growth curve, like when did we really start taking off? 2014, maybe, when somebody partnered. I don't know. I just
I
wanted
might
to
be
Not
good,
a
but-
coincidence. So of the family members, who joined first?
Dr. Graves and,
Okay.
and Freddie,
Yep.
they joined in Forney. They took over Dr. V's office in Forney.
Yep.
And, they were like, oh, this is, we were still associates.
Yep.
And again, they were, talking about the lower stress level, and it wasn't like anything like when I owned my own private office. So, I started, like I said, get to know Dr. V, and then the opportunity opened up in West Texas.
So you guys were second?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah. And then the third sister, we worked with Dr. No in Tyler, and I was the one that set them up because it just seemed like it might be a good fit. And
That was
we
2017, right?
20, I was in 2014.
Well, when Dr. No joined?
Oh no! Well, let's see. I worked with him as an associate in
Gotcha.
2012, and that's how I got to know him. And then Mimi would come out, or Emily would come out and visit, and then I just kind of set them up, and they're still together, so did something right.
So you
love
played
it.
matchmaker.
Mm-hmm.
Hope you got a referral bonus for that one.
Wait, are they the ones that got engaged on an owner's trip?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh,
wow.
yeah, that was in Maui, right?
Mm-hmm.
How cool. Really keeping it in the
There have been a
family.
few children conceived on owners trips as well. So
Oh, I don't wanna
that's-
think about that,
MB2
thank you.
family is growing.
Yeah. We have between the six of us, the three couples, we have 9 kids,
Wow.
3 each. So
That's
How
almost as
cool.
many kids as Joe has.
Almost.
Almost.
Still got time, Dr. McBride. Get you two more.
I'm good there.
I love it. So a few fun questions we like to ask. One of which, and this actually came from our president, Justin Puckett. We like to call him Uncle Pucks.
Do we? Do we like to call him that?
He wanted me to ask.
Yes.
He wanted me to ask if you had any favorite memories from any MB2 mission trips, potentially maybe in Jamaica.
Podcast appropriate.
Yeah, let's see.
No, I think the point was it wasn't maybe podcast appropriate.
I'm not. I don't remember. That was back when I was still drinking pretty heavily. So I'm gonna just kind of
Plead the fifth.
Yeah.
I love it. But you had a good time.
Yes. No. Those mission trips are a phenomenal experience. I'd never done anything like that. And Dr. Dove, Joe Dove, and Tony Pope, they put those on, and they would go down, and they finally started inviting some of the owners. So I think I went on the second one that they had. I think my wife went on the first one, and it's a really cool experience to be able to go do that.
That's special. Awesome. Another fun question we like to ask: do you have your favorite or your craziest patient story? Of all time, going back your entire career.
My wife says I'm the most difficult patient that she's ever worked on, and she pretty much refuses to work on me anymore because I guess I have a hard time getting numb, and I'll just sit there and complain the whole time, and then afterwards, I would say that I'm probably the craziest patient for her. So.
I love it.
What about like a favorite memory from MB2 event? We do a lot to try to keep our owners engaged with each other and engaged with MB2. Over the last 10 years you've been involved. What's been your favorite memory?
Well, just watching everything grow. Like this last owners trip, I didn't know a lot of the people. I hadn't had a chance to meet them, it's phenomenal.
Wow, yeah.
But to get together and then we start talking and realize that we're like-minded. We joined the company for a reason. We've got the same goal. So even though you're meeting them for the first time, once the conversation about MB2 comes up, you realize, okay, well, we're all in this together. That's why our company is so successful. That's why we're by far the most successful dental company. We have 700 owners. That means 700 people who care how my office is doing, that I can get help from, and so forth. So that's the owners trips is when I get to know the new people and just realize it gives me comfort.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I know now you're acting as a doctor ambassador for MB2 in general. I know with owner transitions, but also with the business development team. Do you see any common themes as you're talking to dentists outside of MB2 that are considering a group that you're hearing repeatedly, or that you're kind of what's the state of mind out there?
I don't know if this will be the best analogy for that, because I do hear one thing about MB2 that, you guys, you might be too big. Well, we only have 700 offices. There's companies that have 1,000, 1,500, 1,600. We have 3 times their profitability from what I'm hearing.
Yep.
I snuck that.
Yeah. But just
3 times the locations.
But when people say that, it's like, is Amazon still a good investment? Is Apple still a good investment?
Are you comparing us to Amazon?
Well, I'm just saying that, think about it.
I think we made it.
Because if you think about it, though, that to try to say that, you guys are too big, it's not a good investment, or I should look at one of these small groups, there was BlackBerry, they didn't make it. There's going to be competitors, if you want to go and risk your whole future on might, it might happen, then go for it. But I would rather bank my future on will. We will happen. We have happened. So
absolutely,
that's one thing that I try to think about. So.
Yeah, it's always eye-opening for me. Part of our business development process is we bring doctors in for what we call discovery days, right? And when they get to see in person what exists here from a administrative services actually support, the almost 500 people here and now 3 buildings, just purchased our 3rd building down the street. It's pretty profound for them. They get that the company was built for Dr. V and his original partners and folks like you to just help them be, better dentists and help their businesses thrive. And that was the genesis of the company, as opposed to competitors that start from the opposite end of the spectrum, right? They're looking at financial outcomes before they have kind of any of that support.
Yeah, well, our CEO gets it that, he needs to make sure his partners benefit as well, unlike some of the competitors where it's just the CEO who benefits or,
Right.
the investors that benefit. Our CEO gets it that, we need to have alignment, and we all need to benefit because that way we'll all continue to care. And I think that's what's, keeping us as healthy as we are.
Yeah, that long-term focus and perspective is unique, and it's special. It's special. So similar question. Do you have any advice for young dentists? I mean, you have such a fascinating background. You've been an owner by yourself. You worked for group dentistry. You've been an owner in partnership with a group. Like, do you have any advice for dentists?
Keep an open mind.
Yeah.
Just keep an open mind. When you come out, you hear all sorts of stuff. But the great thing about our profession is that, you can join a group. You can open your own office. You can be an associate. You can join the military. I have friends that join the VA hospital. I have friends that work for the Indian Health Services. There's the research, the teaching. There's just a lot of things you can do with our degree. So, keep an open mind. Don't think it's doom and gloom, because you hear a lot of doom and gloom type stuff, when you come out. And then, when I went to purchase my office, I was pretty stubborn, and I narrow-minded, and that's why I say, keep an open mind. Do your research. I understand that, if you really want to live in a certain place and you really want to, be in a certain area, just make sure you do all of your research, because there's what we want in life, and then there's what we get, and it's not always the same thing, as I learned. So that's what I, just keep an open mind, and really do your research, and try to get all the facts before, because there's a lot of stuff that I missed when I bought my office. Just a lot of stuff that I didn't have a clue what I was supposed to be looking for, and I missed, and I paid for it. I wouldn't go back and change anything,
Yeah.
because I'm happy with how it all turned out. But yeah,
All happens for a reason.
Could have
That's
saved
fantastic.
myself a lot of gray hair and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, on similar question, but as we support the transition for associates as they become owners into MB2, similar question, like what advice would you give them as, potentially new partners with MB2?
Utilize everything MB2 has to offer. Our company is very autonomous, so they're not going to go really impose anything on you, but utilize what we have. So, because every office is different, every owner is different, everybody's got different strengths. I'm yet to figure out my strengths. I'm hoping to one day, but we all have these different strengths and weaknesses. So just figure out where you're lacking, and then try to utilize whoever MB2 has to help you with whatever it is.
I like it.
That's awesome. Now, it sounds like your strength was marrying Dr. Ann, so
Exactly.
kudos. Dr. McBride, it's been a blast. We really appreciate you
Yeah,
joining
thank you
us.
so much for coming in.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Listeners, thank you so much for joining us. We will catch you next time.
MB2 out.